So I know you're wondering, this must be the third video this lady is recording with this same outfit. But I said, okay, let me just get this thing out of the way. My name is Ijeoma Ucheibe, and welcome to my channel where I talk about everything related to HR and its intersection with the law under the Naija HR Chic Series. As you can see, or by now know, my background is a little bit different than what you're used to, but I said everything doesn't have to be perfect before I record a video. And yes, we're going to be talking about something that trended online a couple of weeks ago or months thereabouts. And it boils down to one word: workplace bullying. We all know what bullying is. I'm sure every one of us has had to experience it in different ways, either in secondary school, in primary school, even in the university. You always had that one person that always made you feel uncomfortable with their words, with their comments. That's a form of bullying, my people. It doesn't have to be the person cornering in your corner and beating you up like we have it being portrayed in movies or even shows. So it's been with us for donkey years. It's been there, and it's just, and trying not to define what bullying is, because I think we have an idea of what bullying is. Bullying is just making someone feel uncomfortable, either by your words, by your actions, or even by your body language. It has been seen that way. I have had my fair share of workplace bullying, and funny enough, it comes not just from higher management or people you think I report to, but even from fellow employees. And today is I'm going to talk about the bit of HR professionals. Are we really doing enough, you know, to help bullied employees, right? Because I saw a lot of comments online and they were not very kind, you know, to HR professionals. I'm going to be very honest with you. And for a split second, I felt bad, but then I understood in a way that, okay, this is frustration playing out. This is one of them. Can we see? Yeah. I saw that and my heart broke, because I'm thinking, okay, they must have gotten to a point where they don't even trust this person who represents human resources, human, with the emphasis on that word, human, to the point where the person has to come on Twitter to post that kind of comment. But like I said, we are trained to be mother hens. We're trained to be able to keep our emotions under check as HR professionals. So I took it with a chin, like, okay, you don't always have to be perfect, but you can use this as a learning curve. And I'm going to give I have a lot of experiences with bullying, but I'm just going to talk about one. And I know that people who have worked with me at that particular organization know who I'm talking about. So I worked with this organization. I'm not going to tell you if it's a law firm or not. I'm going to keep that information to myself. And my immediate line manager, of course, was a bully. But his was a little bit subtle. It was passive aggressive about his. It wasn't in your face. So sometimes people didn't even know that that was happening. But I knew that at a point when I felt it was affecting my mental health, I had to leave, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to please yourself first. Loyalty is overrated these days, to be honest with you. So there was this particular employee, those employees that are always almost like, you feel like they're always suckling up to the big boss. You cough, they're the first to report that you have just coughed in a particular location to the boss, and you're wondering, it's just a cough. It means that I may need to see a doctor. What has that cough got to do with the fact that I may be stealing money? You understand those sort of things. And I went to see this person, like, I know you have been saying these things about me from the very first minute you knew I was coming to this office to work. What is your beef with me? Down to when this person got married, they didn't invite me. And to point, I was like, I don't really care so much for personal interactions. We are colleagues, right? We don't have to be all chummy and in each other's faces. I will probably get married tomorrow. If you choose not to come for the wedding, hey, by all means, right? But when we are on the job, I would rather you treat me with respect, especially if we were both called, because then, of course, oh shoot, I think I just gave that away. If I think we're mates when it comes to what we do professionally as, lawyers, you should also accord me that respect that I accord you. I'm not scared of you, but over time, I've just seen that your body language, what you say about me, just goes to show that you don't like me as a person, which is fine. Not everyone should like me, but can you stop making me feel uncomfortable? Like every time I have to do something that is work related, you find a way to shut it down and say bad things, give bad reviews about my work behind my back. If you're so perfect, let me know what that is. And I had that conversation, and the person was like making it look like, oh, you're too small for me to talk about, blah, 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 blah. I said, no, I'm probably not going to report you because, hey, whoever I'm going to report you is already biased towards you. He thinks that you're the best employee, even if I know that you don't do anything for the company. But somehow the person doesn't see that way because you are offering eye service over doing your job, right? You've had issues with people who are even supposed to be your line manager. So who am I? But then again, like during the time of my work here, my course of employment here, you will not be an obstacle for me. If you have to be, I will find a way to edge you out. Yes. And just make sure that I don't have to be on projects with you. But then again, it got to a point where I felt like, okay, I wasn't getting help, and it was like affecting my mental health, and I left. And it was painful because I knew that that company could be more, but it's still stuck in a particular place where I shake my head like, I hope the owner doesn't wake up one day and everyone is left because somehow they feel like there's nothing for us here. Because that's where I was feeling at the time, like, does this person really know what employees think about this stooge of his who is always running around him like a lapdog and bullying people and making them. And then that goes to, what did I do as a HR professional? I was being bullied. There was really nothing I could do. But what I resolved to do going forward was be the champion of the employee. Be that peace for them. Be that person they can go to and rant about things to. And also try in your own little way to see how you can help. Make sure that situation is quelled. I'm not saying you do it to a point where you have to scream at the person who is bullying said employee, right? But if you have to get, lawyers involved, please do that. And you're not getting lawyers involved because you are trying to do extra. But let the person know the provisions of the law, case law to back up what would happen if this behavior continues unchecked, how it's going to affect the employer brand. It would be nice to have that particular organization, for instance, in the news because, oh, they are being bullied and all that sort of thing. It just doesn't make sense, basically. But all those things are things that I looked at and I felt maybe I should have done better because I had a lot of complaints of bullying from this same person that I worked at. And that same person still works there. Still bullying people as far as I know, because this even new persons call me to ask me, oh, how did you deal with this person? I'm thinking, we're still on this? And this so-called bully is over 40s, inching towards 50. And then you're just shaking your head like, how is this person going to run a team effectively and efficiently? Are you sure that this person is able to run a company in the future without running down and becoming a classic case of, Bento Africa? And I would not want to name the person, but we all know who that person is, right? Because that's the way it's leaning towards. If this person becomes a founder tomorrow, the employees are in trouble. That's all I can say. Well, let me know in the comment section. Do you think as HR professionals we're doing enough, to quell this? I don't call it an epidemic, but it just makes me think that we need to be doing more. We need to instill a spirit of camaraderie in the minds of these bullied employees. We need them to know that we are here to stay and we are here to help. Let it just don't feel like, oh, it's a road that should be scrapped. They're just sitting there and answering HR. When it's time for me to help as a HR professional, I'll be like, that's when I remember and I'm in for you. I need this job more than you. I cannot come and keep myself because of you. But what can you do in your little way? What have you been doing in your little way in organizations that you belong to make sure that, this doesn't happen or this doesn't become a thing, a recurring theme where employees are complaining about being bullied? Let me know in the comment section if you've ever had to deal with a bullying incident in your workplace, or what you would do if you ever have something like that happen. My name is Ijeoma and I'm very active on social media. right? I'm on Instagram and LinkedIn as Ijeoma Ucheibe, as Naija HR Chic on TikTok. And don't forget the most important part of this video: like, share, comment, and most importantly, subscribe in the description box below. I'll talk to you guys much later at another location. Let me actually try and rest. It's what I came here to do. Bye, guys.